I
It's
know.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, I hated it.
Hello, everyone. Um, so after a whole ass month, here we are with our final two. We started the season off with 16 players who had played like one Skype Pro Board game or less, and it was only Stefan who played one. Everyone else was super new, so it was so fun to watch everyone adapt, maybe not adapt so well. Um, but I really hope that all of the newbies who played the season really start playing more games because you all have fantastic personalities, and we all did pick you guys for this season for a specific reason because we saw potential in you guys. But it's been a fantastic season. Definitely one of my favorite seasons I've ever hosted, just based on the pure fact of how passionate and active 7/8 of the cast was. And I don't know, you guys are awesome. The jury is awesome. The pre-jury is awesome. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the production team. I know I wasn't really here sometimes, and y'all fucking carried that shit without like I love you guys so much. You're all fantastic, wonderful humans, and you're some of my best friends. And thank you guys so fucking much for standing by the series. You guys are like literally fucking amazing. I love you like literally so much. Shout out to Danny because like you're fucking.
Shout out to Danny.
Yes, Danny.
Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Queenstein. Shout out to Gabe. Shout out to Asha. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to maybe Leah. I don't know.
Yes, Leah.
Still shout out to Leah. Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting one? No, I think that's it.
Yeah, something
Shout
like
out to
that.
production. Mwah.
Shout
Kisses
out
to
to production.
production.
Thank you guys so much for sure.
You guys are awesome. Thank you. So yeah, honestly, without any further ado, I think we should get right into it. So how tonight is going to work is both the finalists will make their opening speeches and we will go into the jury questioning. And then we'll crown a winner. All right. So yeah, let's do opening speeches. So go whenever you are ready.
All right, so I'll start us off tonight. First of all, like Simon was just saying, thank you so much to production for letting me play this game. This was an absolutely amazing first org experience. You guys just listed everyone. I was gonna list everyone, but thank you guys so much. You guys were amazing. Also, thank you so much to everybody that played this season. Every single person contributed in a different way, and I don't think that we had very many dull cast members. And you guys were absolutely amazing, and I have 15 new friends walking out of this, and thank you guys so much. I guess I'll get into my game. I came into this game, and I feel like I totally fucked it up. Like my meet me video, I literally put a target on my back day one because everybody was like, "Wow, this kid is here to play." Like I said, I was here to win. I wasn't here to make friends. And while I just said I'm walking out with 15 new friends, I didn't come here to play Big Brother Best Friend. I came here to play Big Brother Hell 10 Hades. And I feel like I totally accomplished my goal of fucking everything up. Um, Early on, my strategy was literally just to lay low, make friends, play a social game, and figure out where everybody stood. Try and plant some seeds, try and, you know what I mean? Like just little things like that. And I feel like I totally accomplished that. I laid really, really low at the beginning. I threw the first HOH comp when I was in final two with Nick. I threw the pencil competition because I didn't want to be seen as a threat after I won the first veto. I did what I had to do early on to try and get that first initial target off my back. Um, at the end of pre-jury, beginning of jury, my game kind of took a turn when Estefana and Matthew went out back to back. And I think that a lot of you guys know those were two of my closest allies. Matthew especially was my absolute ride or die in this game. I saved him with veto night one. I would have done it again if I won. So him leaving initially seemed really bad for my game, but everybody saw us as a duo. And when Matthew left, I knew that I had to turn my game into high gear. I won rubbish, flubbish, dubbish, and I completely turned this game upside down. I went from being on the out to splitting the house in half and getting three huge targets out right back to back. And I think that I did that perfectly. And Robin, I know like you probably hate me, but taking you out was absolutely, I think, one of the best moves this entire season, because if you didn't go when you did, you would have won this whole thing. You would have made it to the end. Um, I dominated physically. I won 5 competitions, minus half of the other ones where I threw. I dominated strategically. I dominated socially. I wasn't nominated until final 6, and the last person to nominate before me was at final 9. So I made it super far nominated, and I wasn't even a final nominee until final 4. Obviously, 0 votes cast against me. So I really hope that you guys can commend my gameplay. I played this game from the very beginning all the way through to the end, and I really hope that you guys can reward me with the win tonight. No matter what happens, best of luck, Eddie. I love you so much, and may the best player win.
Okay, should I just go? Okay. So again, like Anthony said at the beginning of his speech, thank you to production, thank you to the entire cast for like making this experience so amazing. But yeah, I'll just get into it. Coming into this game, I was literally more nervous for like anything that I have ever done in my entire life, because I'm a Big Brother nerd. I've never heard of this org thing. This is literally like fresh blood. Like I'm here to do something completely new in my life. And I was afraid that I was going to be perceived as like this bitchy ass gay, which probably some of you think, but I was also afraid about being first boot, which I think we all were afraid of. So because of this, I knew I wanted to lay low, not win any competitions, and I knew I had to establish as many personal relationships that I could to at least buy myself the first few rounds to get by to where I could plant seeds. And with that, I think there was kind of 2 parts to my game, and that was, well, there's obviously like pre-jury and jury phase, but for my game, I would say the 2 parts to me were before Daniel and Simon left and after Daniel and Simon left. And I just want to get like the biggest lie, and I think the only lie I've told this entire game, which is night 0, me, Daniel, Simon, and Nick made an alliance. And with that alliance, I knew I had a good outlet for information from around the house entirely, to where I did not need to win competitions. I did not need to put myself out there as much as I was planning on doing, to where I would put a target on myself potentially. So, oh my God, sorry. Okay, so I think I succeeded in not really putting a target on my back, because I was able to lay low until Estefana started bringing up my name before the second live night, along with Nick and Robin, of course. And I was kind of like attached with this floater stigma before the second live night, which is essentially what I wanted in the beginning of the game, because I knew people would underestimate my intelligence and my ability to win when my ass is on the fucking line. So going into the second live night, the husband's main target was Matthew. And I did not want to send Matthew home that night, because I was actually planning on working with Matthew until I heard he was in on this throwing my name around, of course. But even after Matthew saved himself, which thank God, but even after Matthew saved himself, the husbands still were iffy on voting out Estefana, because they were so close to the Estefana. And although me and Nick didn't really know it at that time, he was way closer than we thought with her. And I knew that Estefana was like the biggest game player like at the time, and Estefana was the biggest threat, and Estefana needed to go. Estefana, I love you, but you are just like completely a force to be reckoned with, and I needed to ensure that Estefana went home that night. Obviously, after that night, shit blew up when Stefan came back, and I knew I needed to win that HOH to reposition my place in this game, because my name was being thrown around and jury started. Like it wasn't time for games anymore. So I needed to win that HOH to gain my footing again. And I needed to make sure that I was setting myself up for the rest of the game. At this point, Anthony and I were kind of working together, but we never had anything set down, especially after the Estefana and the Matthew eviction back to back. And I thought getting out Matthew would ensure that Anthony would then be entirely loyal to me. And I already had the husbands and Nick to where I felt I was good socially. And he was loyal to me for his first HOH that he won right after me. And so that brought me another round. Like I was thinking round by round, step by step, instead of thinking just about the beginning, middle, and end. And as much as I love thinking about being in the position that I am right now, and as much as I like dreamed of it, I knew I wasn't going to make it here unless I thought round by round. And so then the double eviction came, and this is basically where my entire game flips and changes. And my social game had gone to shit. I didn't really have anyone to back me up besides Sister Nick. Love you, Nick, even though I know you're not here. And as much as I wanted to trust Anthony and lock something down with him, he still would not budge. Like he just did not want to like do anything. So after Anthony had betrayed me and nominated me, this is when I knew I had to get to work on Stefan, Van, BC, and Chris. And as much as I knew that you four had a stronger bond than I could probably never intervene, like I'm a fighter. I was never willing to roll over and die. And I tried my damnedest to get some sort of leeway with each of you. And this is where my relationship with BC in particular, like completely changed for the good. And BC became one of my favorite people in the game to talk to, hands down, because me and BC just clicked when it came to game. And this is when I really started to kind of realize everybody's worth in the game, because I wasn't here to be clouded by the husband's judgments of everyone. I wasn't being influenced by what they were telling me, and I only had me and Nick, but I just had, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had to rebuild these relationships because I knew my social game went to shit. And even though I had to win to ensure that I didn't go home when I did, I still felt like it was good. Oh my gosh, I'm flopping, but whatever. So basically, when Anthony betrayed me and I saved myself because my ass was going home if I didn't win, and he renominated Stefan, I knew I had to get Stefan out. Like this was my opportunity to get one of, like, if not the biggest player in the competition, to send him home. And to kind of jump back, Chris proposed that me, him, and Nick should work together the round that Robin went home. And even though we never really locked anything down or had a group call or anything, like I just assumed maybe there's like this unspoken bond, and I knew that I could potentially get Chris to flip with me onto Stefan. So that way I could save Nick and Van. So that way I could rebuild my relationship with Van after going against Van during Robin's eviction. And so I could save Sister Nick. But Chris was nowhere to be found. And this is when I had to work on BC. And I don't want to take credit for this move entirely, because when I got into call with BC said it before I even had to. Like BC was already, like I said, we click instantly when it comes to game, and BC knew this was the time to make a move. We have to do it. And I was like, sister, let's do it. I'm ready. Let's do it. And even though BC didn't vote for Stefan that round, he was still able to pull in Chris's vote to vote out Stefan. Oh my gosh, I am like freaking out. I'm sorry. So then Sister Nick goes home, and I'm literally completely alone. And I was, completely alone. And I just kind of want to say the way I positioned myself in this game is what helped me. I knew the husbands were the biggest target in the house, and they were going to be taken care of. So that's why I survived the double eviction. Even though I was on the fucking block as a pawn, I knew that partnering with them was gonna help save me for 2 or 3 rounds. Same with Nick. Nick was like my entire, like, y'all know, I don't even have to explain it, but when Nick essentially kind of not sacrificed himself, but was willing to, oh my gosh. Okay, just basically like Nick, if I would not be here if it were not for Nick. I would not be here if it were not for Nick. And if I was going home that week and I was able to, not I was able to, but the vote worked in my favor and I stayed that week. And then I had to win. And that's when me and Anthony really became this final 2. And the only time I think I've ever gone back on my word in this game was when I went and I evicted BC. And I did not have a chance. I mean, not have a chance. Like, it's just, if I could have it perfectly, BC, I already told you this if you're watching, I would have had me, you, and Anthony in the final 3, but that wasn't in the cards. I didn't have any other choice besides you or Anthony, and I was more loyal to Anthony during the game, so I knew I had to go with my loyalty that I had longer and who I felt I could trust more. And especially since I didn't know if you would bring me over Chris. I mean, even though Anthony said he was going to take Chris over me, but that's just not who I am. I've been straight up with everyone. I have tried to keep my word throughout this game, which I think I've done a pretty good fucking job of doing. And I didn't get here because I'm scared or because I'm a bitch. Like, I came here, I want to go against the best of the best. I want to win this fucking game. And to me, if I were up against Chris, it wouldn't feel like a win to me. And I wanted to make sure that at least something, like at least there was at least a good winner that came out of this season. And I know that either me or Anthony is a good winner. And I feel like I'm fucking rambling all of your fucking ears off right now, but yeah, I've kept my word. I've tried to keep my loyalty as much as I can. Like I said, the only time I think I've ever gone back on it is the whole BC Final Four eviction. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm just rambling. Okay, I love you guys. Mwah. Can't wait to see all your beautiful faces.
Right. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to choke. So Matthew's on his way, but I'm gonna reveal some awards. Obviously, I'm gonna exclude anytime you two are involved. All right. Oh, okay. I'm still gonna do the first two. So these are big awards, but the biggest villain.
Oh my god.
Is Simon.
Yeah.
I mean, he just come Simon. No explanation. Biggest hero. This one's always one of the hardest ones to give out. But this one is going to Van.
Oh yes, Van.
All right. Matthew, go for him.
Hey bitches. So
hey, bitch. Oh my god, your hair.
I'm good, yeah, Matthew, your hair.
Okay, so I'm gonna just keep this short and sweet because I don't want to ramble on because this is your guys' time. My main question, because I don't want to be why should you win? My question's gonna be, what was your best move and how did that get you here today? And we'll start with Eddie.
My biggest move, I would say, was getting Estefana out, because not me single-handedly, but I definitely had a big influence on getting Estefana out. And Estefana was a player, like I said, and she was going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I knew if Estefana stayed any longer, she was going to go way far, way, way, way far. And I think we all realized that in Estefana. And I think that's why not only me, but the rest of us took this as the opportunity to get Estefana out. And another move I would say is, which I said I don't want to take entirely credit for because it was me and BC both, but was getting Stefan out and flipping the vote on Anthony that week because Anthony wanted Van out. And I knew Stefan was going to go to the fucking end if Stefan stayed over Van.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to.
Okay. First of all, hey Matthew. Second of all, I think that my biggest move was taking Robin out, and I did this move completely single-handedly. This was entirely my move. While there were 3 people that voted Robin out, my move taking Robin out was not against Robin. It was just to further position myself. I used my HOHs as a way to position myself well for the week after and the week after and the week after. And this was just a prime example. I knew it was right after you got evicted, Matthew. I knew that when you got evicted, I was going to be an easy target right after, along with BC and Chris. And by putting up the people that I put up, Nick, Robin, and Van, I easily split the house and put Nick, Eddie, Simon, and Daniel on one side and put BC, Chris, Stefan, and Van on the other side. And I was sitting pretty right in the middle come the double eviction live night, which everybody was speculating about. So definitely my best move and my biggest move was taking Robin out. It was like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, put myself in an amazing position for the double eviction live night, and took out Robin, who was definitely going to take up one of these final 2 spots if she didn't get out, and she did.
All right. Thank you both for that. I guess that helped everyone a little bit in the jury. Best of luck to both of you, and yeah.
Bye, Matthew.
Bye, guys.
Love you.
So, okay. we'll go to most manipulative. This one was actually really difficult. I didn't really know who to give this to. But I think overall, looking at like how some of you guys like I don't know the word I'm trying to go, guided your way through like social interactions and the social gameplay. I feel like Nick was the best at manipulating people into like getting his target down. So Nick is most manipulative.
Good job, Nick.
Congrats, Nick. Nick got an award.
Yes, sister.
Okay, so this is a new award. We did it for Hellions, but this is Rebel. This is based on like Savage's archetypes. So this is somebody that went against the grain. This is somebody that went against everything that they were like. What the social quote? What it was? Is that went against the grain. This is somebody that. Can you mute the YouTube?
There. Is that better?
Yeah. And then, yep, that's it. Go for it.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Hi, Robin. I miss you so much.
I miss you guys. Both of you, Anthony.
I love you, Robin.
I love you too. Okay, my question is actually the same for both of you. So I would like you both to tell me why the other person should win this game.
You want to go first, Anthony? Or
Yeah,
me?
I'll go first because you went first last time.
Okay.
I think that Eddie should win this game because he was an extremely strong physical competitor. He won more competitions than I did. Obviously, he won 6, I won 5. Eddie also had really strong relationships all throughout the house. He was super close with the husband. He was super close with Nick. He was close with you. He was good with Stefan. He made up with BC towards the end and fixed that relationship. I think that Eddie's strong point definitely was getting really, really close to people and building that strong personal relationship. So I think that Eddie definitely was really good physically, really good socially, and he also used his HOHs to his advantage. So yeah, Eddie was definitely a really good all-around player.
It's like kind of the same for Anthony. Anthony had amazing relationships. He had an alliance with Estefana and the husbands, like fucking day, whatever it was. I don't know the exact details. He had close relationship with Matthew. He had a final 3 with BC and Chris. Like Anthony was making sure he was set up all across the board. Not to mention, like he said in Matthew's, that was getting you out, Robin. As much as I hated it, it was good for him because not even just for you, he split the house. And like he said, he was sitting in the middle for a while. And although I feel like that kind of came to bite him when he put me up, I still think Anthony set himself up to go to the end based off that one HOH. And although he did win 2 more and he kind of had to show his hand more than others, he was still able to bounce back and he was still able to rebuild shit that may have crumbled. You know what I mean? And not to mention, like I said, or like he said, he's an amazing competitor too. He had the most wins before me, before last night. Like we would have been tied for wins if I didn't win that HOH and if I didn't win that Final Four veto. And that's why I was really scared because Anthony was an amazing competitor. He set himself up way strongly. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. I love you both.
I love you, Robin.
I love you too.
So the next one is Rogue. This is people who are like cutthroat. They had a dark strategic game. I'm not good at explaining things. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, it goes to Nick and Daniel. You guys are the rogues of the season. And then Ruler. This is people who like literally like ran a part of the game and were able, not ran, but like they were like leaders of their core alliance. And the first one is Simon and the next one is Van.
Wait, what was that one called? You kind of cut out when you said
Ruler.
Oh,
Ruler.
Ruler? Okay.
I support that. Simon.
Simon!
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hi,
Simon.
babe.
I've got some stuff to say. Oh, yes, I
Okay.
I
do.
can't wait.
All right. Well, in case you didn't know, it's Evicted Husband #1 and your favorite villain of the season, apparently. But as you know, my real name's Simon. But look at this. Honestly, I'm not surprised to see either one of you in the final two, TBH. A pretty bitch and a loco, but also a pretty bitch. You both kicked major ass this season. I'm really proud of both of you, honestly. Also, a little shout out to the husbands for having 2 separate Final Four deals from day 0 with both your asses. We obviously have good taste in alliances, and you're both welcome for being the bigger target. So I've been told also that I went out in a bit of a salty manner. Live Night 3 wasn't my finest moment. Thank you, Chris, for outdoing me there. And I'm not denying that I was salty that night, but we all know the true captain of the SS Salty ship this season was Steven. Or wait, was it Stefan? I can't remember. He got evicted 3rd round, right? Poor guy. But anyways. So tonight's a bit different though. There's no salt on my end, only love. I've got 2 questions actually and 1 proposition. Sorry, I talk a lot. You guys know this. So my first question is for Anthony. So as a fairly early juror myself, I realized that a lot of the other jurors were coming into the jury house with some animosity towards you. I thought that you played a pretty solid game, so I didn't necessarily personally understand where the animosity was coming from, why it was there, and I could never even really put my finger on it even until now. So why is it that you think you rubbed some of the incoming jurors the wrong way, either on their way out or during their time in the game?
I think that the reason that I rubbed some people the wrong way is because I was here for me, and I think that I made that statement really, really early on, and especially Robin, I think, went in really bitter because I was the tiebreaker vote that took her out, and I think that she was hurt because I was very, very close with Robin on house calls. Like, I remember I got drunk that one night, and Robin was there with me the whole entire time, coaching me and whatever. And I think that the reason that some people came in with animosity is because they felt so close to me, and I do love everybody, and I think that everybody had such a strong friendship with me, and I kind of had to put game before friendship in some ways. So I think that might be why some people came in with animosity.
Okay. All right. I was looking like more like detail oriented. I don't know. Like, was there anything that you did specifically like game move wise, like any moves that you made, like that really pissed anybody off, do you think?
I think that the Robin thing is really what set people the wrong way. And I think that also when I nominated Nick and Eddie together, I think that might be why Nick might have gone into jury kind of bitter. And I think also when I renominated Stefan, he ended up getting evicted. So I think that it was just me nominating people that I had to nominate, even though I was friends with them, if that answers your question.
All right. That makes sense. Good deal. All right. And so, Eddie, so seeing as how I was also aligned with you from day 0, and I actually stayed true to that 4 Loco alliance until my bittersweet burpee-induced end, which, speaking of alliances, I'm sorry, Estefana, I love you so much, and I'm sorry that I robbed you, my taco queen, I'm sorry. I know that early on in the game, Eddie, you were given the stereotype of being an airhead or a floater, which you already mentioned, and I know that it really pissed you off.
Yeah.
But you played your cards well. You kept your shit together. Obviously, I know that this isn't true. You were never a floater. You were always on top of your shit, but perception is reality in BB Hell.
Yes.
You had a rough middle game, too. You lost Robin, myself, Daniel, and Nick all in a 5-round time period, which had to be super demoralizing and super rough on your game. So my question for you is, how are you able to go from floater to game master, zigging when you needed to zig and zagging when you needed to zag in order to make it to that coveted final 2 spot?
Well, at the beginning of this game, with me, Simon, Daniel, and Nick, we definitely felt like we were running shit. And I felt like I was on top of the game. I was kind of not really a target, like I said. And then obviously when all of that got exposed, I lost Robin, like you said, I lost Simon, I lost Daniel, and I lost Nick. And yeah, those were some tough fucking times because I knew I was on the bottom each and every single round. Whereas there was probably a bigger target in front of me, and I probably knew I wasn't going home during the double eviction, or yeah, but you get what I'm saying. When it was a tough time, and when I just knew I had to fight. I'm a fighter, and as much as I didn't have to fight at the beginning of the game, it kind of helped me fight for the rest of this game because I knew I was truly alone for quite some fucking time because I knew that the rest of the house is working with each other besides me and Nick. And then when Nick was gone, it was just like, okay, well, might as well play for fifth. You know what I mean? But I'm not a quitter. I fought. I won my ass off. I won fucking competitions when I needed to, took my ass off the block, and maneuvered my way through votes when I needed to.
Yes,
and I made it here. And I wasn't a pussy. I wasn't scared. I brought the single best competitor with me. And I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting to this last moment. I could just be sitting here pretty with Chris, but I'm fighting every single moment now. And I have been since Robin left, since Robin went out this door.
And to be fair, if you had been sitting there with Chris, it would just be so ugly. It'd be icky. I'm glad it's not that way. So thanks for staying pretty. Last little final thing here. I want to get to my proposition that I mentioned. So my vote is live tonight, guys. I know that we were both aligned at a certain point in the game. And I know that you two had this cute little showmance this season. And like I said, it was cute, but it was a little nauseating at times too. I love you both, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to be casting my vote tonight for whoever leaks the other person's nudes on the BB Hell Facebook page. All right. Just kidding. I love you, bitches. Good luck. And thank you, everybody, for an amazing game. I love you all.
I love you, Simon.
Thank you,
so
Simon.
nice seeing your face.
See ya.
Good luck to both of you.
Love you.
Love you. I need to get the fuck out of here. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god.
I love Simon.
That was funny.
I love
Eddie
him.
wishes he could get my name.
Shut up.
It's so horrible to have like a Simon in the cast. Like it was really difficult this season. So the next one is biggest comeback. So biggest comeback is going to go to BC. BC had a super slow start in the game. We thought he was going to be like one of the first boots. He did have that huge flub in Live Night, but he was still able to flip his game around. And yeah,
rightfully deserved.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree.
go
So, hi,
for it.
Danielle.
Hey, Daniel.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, just chilling like a villain. Before I start off this crazy mess, I think one thing is in order.
Ah! Hell yes. Bitch.
Okay. So first off, I want to start off by congratulating the two of you. That is so awesome that you two were able to do this and pull off something that none of us were able to do. That being said, there can only be one winner, and I think it, like Simon said, it is kind of crazy that we have one person from Final Four and another person from Final Four. It kind of reminds me of Live Night 2 a little bit. Before I get to my questions, well, actually, let's go and get to my questions. I'm going to start with Anthony. And I was going between two questions this whole night tonight, and I think you already answered one without me getting there. So my second question was, Live Night 3, after Simon got out, I think that it would have been a better move for you especially to try to convince the house to keep me over Eddie because, one, I haven't won a comp, and two, at that point, I'd be very easy to manipulate. Even though I did have the Final Four with Eddie and Nick, I feel like you are the next best alliance member. So my question is, why did you not try to get out Eddie before me?
The reason that I didn't try to get out Eddie is the same exact reason that I'm sitting here. Eddie took me to Final 2, and I knew that if Eddie was gone, I was going to be the next biggest competition threat. I also knew that with you gone, Eddie and Nick literally had to rely on me. Eddie and Nick came when I won HOH at Final 7. came begging to me in my HOH room, and like it's true. So I think that the reason that I took you out, Daniel, is because I thought that you were going to be an absolute wild card, and I think that without Simon, your head could have been absolutely anywhere, and I was worried to see how you were going to play this game without him here. So I think that the reason that I took you out, just also because I didn't want to stick my neck out for you, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't want to put my game at risk for your game, and also just because I think that it was a better move for you to go, because it left Nick and Eddie absolutely helpless with only me to go to. So I was sitting in the middle again. So yeah.
All right, good answer. Thank you for your honesty. And then I'll go to my Eddykins.
Hi, Daniel.
Love. So I missed you. So the jury actually discredits your game because on winning comps, even though you won one more than Anthony, and I don't know why that's discredited for you at all. And also that you didn't have a very good social game, which I know that I talk to you almost every day for at least more than an hour about game and then live. So with that being said, my only question is to you is there any moves in the game while I was in the game that you made without us knowing?
Wait, sorry, you kind of broke up. Can you repeat that?
Oh, is there any game moves that you made before Simon and I were evicted that we didn't know about? Like it was just solely like you making a move that we didn't know.
Well, I don't really know if you. I mean, there's moves that I made on my own. I don't really know if you're asking like I just kept you out of the loop, because I was the final four with you guys. I was giving you guys all my information, which we talked about, but definitely like from the jump, Lewis, when everyone was talking about the message that Lewis sent to me, I mean, I didn't say anything, but Lewis was the one who messaged me saying, oh, what if we team up on all the people with experience? Like, what if the newbies team up on everyone with experience? I put that into Nick's mouth. I put that into Nick's mind. Lewis went home number one. Then the whole Shady Katie thing, hashtag Shady Katie, if you're watching, I love you. But the whole Katie thing, Katie started to Katie started to be shady, and obviously her information was being leaked. As you guys were the ones finding out about the information, you guys still did not want to target Katie. You guys were focused on targeting Stefan and Matthew. But who went up on the block? Katie. Katie went up on the block. So I went to Estefana. I told her what I thought was the best move. And as much as I love Katie, I knew Katie had to go because Katie was going to continue to be shady, and she was going to keep working her little strings like she was. And that's why Katie was a threat. I don't know if that really answers your question. If you have any clarification, I can give it to you. Or if you want any clarification.
I appreciate it. No, that answered it completely. Well, you guys, again, congratulations. I cannot wait to see who comes out on top, and you both really deserve it. So thank you guys for an amazing season, and I'm out.
Love you, Daniel.
Love you.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna give the next award, which is the best pre-jury game. Had issues picking one, so we had to pick two, and this award has to go to the husbands. So Simon and Daniel played a phenomenal game pre-jury. They were running the game up until that live night, and then it blew up. But it was still highly entertaining seeing a couple come into the game and run it like the two of them did. Best jury game, we have to. I'll wait on that because it looks like we're ready.
Hey, Stefan.
Hey, sisters. Or as I would like to say, the IHOT, the International House of Twinks. So thanks for that. Now, I was lucky enough to get fashion advice from Daniel and Simon this week of what to wear because they called me the devil. They called me salty. But because I'm not really into that and because it's part of my rebel lifestyle, I got a little show for everyone. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, here we go.
Okay, that out of the way. Hero, damn it. I'm a hero. Okay. So, the way my jury question is going to work is I have a bottle of wine.
Oh,
So, every time I hear the words husbands or sisters, clock your ass, take a goddamn shot. Y'all fucking extra. Next thing, I'm going to say some statements. Now, please note that despite my reaction, jury vote is up for grabs. I need you to either say, yes, Stefan, I'm right. I mean, you're right. I realize this. Or you have to, like, completely
rebuttal.
Just, like, you have to reverse it. Okay, here we go. So, Eddie, I was going to start with you, but I'm actually more pissed at Anthony, so let's get this fucking on the road. Listen up, bitch. You said you single fucking handedly ran that week that Robin went out the door. Where you might have put yourself in a very good position, you did not do everything. While you were up in your fucking HOH room making your nominations that later got taken away from you, more than one occasion, a la my eviction, I was downstairs looking at the popular cliques with Eddie, Daniel, Simon, Nick, Robin, and I went to fucking work with the ruffians, the nerds, the outcasts. I went to BC and Chris. They helped me come up with a plan and go to you with it. You did nothing in that first part. It wasn't until we came into your HOH room and we fucking told you everything. We laid out a plan. Yes, you probably made the best move to put yourself through that game, but to say you fucking single-handedly did it, that is absolutely bullshit.
I think that what you're missing is that me, BC, and Chris had, before I even made those nominations, us three had made a final three. And I had talked with them before about putting up those people. So I obviously I couldn't do it single-handedly, Stefan. Like, there were 3 people voting. I get that. But it definitely was my intention to split the house. Like, that was my intention, and that's what happened. So, like, I knew that you and I assumed that you and Van were close. And I knew that BC and Chris would save Van. Like, that was just the assumption throughout the house. So I knew that Van was going to have 3 votes to save. So yes, like, it was like, yes, you did what I thought you would do. You went and worked with them, and I knew that you 4 were going to become an alliance, and I knew that the other 4 were already an alliance.
Never were an alliance. Never an alliance, Tat. It was
not an alliance. Okay, obviously, like, it wasn't an alliance, Stefan, but, like, obviously you guys were going to put up the other 4 before you were going to put up each other. Like, and just because it wasn't set in stone doesn't mean that there weren't 2 sides, and it was clear as day that that's what the sides were. And I exposed that with my HOH, and that was my plan. And that's why I did what I did. So yes, you 3 voted to evict the way that you did, but it's not like BC and Chris told me to do that to split the house. I did that move to split the house, and that's why I did it. So it was single-handedly my move in that fashion.
Bitch, you better check that whole bottle.
Getting there. Now, fucking Eddie. Fuck you. Fuck you, little. Ooh. I called you winning this goddamn game literally in the first week. So if you do end up, I'm a fucking prediction. I'm literally Raven-Symoné. Now, my problem with you, besides you, what I feel heavily relied on competition scene to win, whatever. I don't care about that at this moment. It's your social game. Because it felt like when I was first in the game, you just didn't really talk to me. I tried putting out like my floaters things, trying to drop a thing, but your social game left a lot to be appealed. It wasn't until I came back that you really started to like form a conversation. And that was great. I felt like we got an understanding and I liked that. But then came to my eviction. Now, from my perspective, I realized I was kind of in a power position pre-vetoes during Anthony's second HOH, and I apologized if I was coming off godfathery. However, when you won a veto, which I'm still salty by the way that I got lost by 2, whatever, you seemed to like flip it immediately. Like we were in a completely different sense, and it felt like you were now in this godfather position, but you never realized it, and that just pissed me the hell off. Like, I like someone who at least knows where they are and can own up to it, but what I saw kind of exhibited none of that. And then to hear that you kind of had like a shaky social game from a couple of other people, maybe it wasn't too far off. So why should I vote for someone whose social game was so shaky that they only went to people when they needed it? Like, I don't get it. Like, tell me what makes a good Big Brother player out of not really going to people until you need it.
Okay, well, I don't think I came to people when I needed it. You were a target right from the bat, so I did not want to associate myself with someone who was going to be a target. Okay, I'm talking about before your first eviction.
No, I understand, but I think that's
you were attached with that stigma. Perception's reality, as everyone likes to say. So as much as I loved wanting to talk to you because you were the one who was being outgoing in the house chat and stuff like that, I knew that I could not put my neck out for you because then that would put a target on my back. And that's why I think my social game pre-jury was stellar, because I think I ever heard my name going around as a target that's supposed to go up and supposed to go home until the second live night. Then when you came back, it was down to you and Lewis, which Lewis went home night one, and I knew I was mainly responsible for his eviction, whereas I felt me and you were on a better page when the whole buyback happened, okay? So I was like, yeah, Stefan, let's go, because I knew this was a chance for me and you to rebuild our relationship, and so I took advantage of that. And I wanted, because I did not know where you were going to lie, and I'm glad that we were able to make that deal and you were able to last as long as you did, because that deal made everyone not tell me to put you up, so that way I could talk to you throughout that round. But when it comes to you, Stefan, whenever we would talk and whenever you were in a better position than I was, you would never give me any ounce of information in terms of game. Never. So I just felt like, what do I owe you if you're not going to give me anything? So then, this is like still like a couple rounds before. Then we get to your eviction, okay? Stefan, you were the best player in the game. Besides whoever else you think was the best player, that was my one opportunity to not only get back at Anthony for nominating me, but I thought in my head at that time, I thought you and Anthony were together at the hip and you guys were running the other three. And I thought you were the one that was mainly running the other three, not so much Anthony. And I was already closer with Anthony, so I knew I had to take advantage of Anthony's mess up and I had to get the best player out of the game, which I did.
Okay. Be that as it may, you still could have like sent off with like a better kind of thing. Like, I'm going to jury and I'm pretty sure you knew that was happening. So like, why would you not?
I did not know that was happening, because BC, whenever I would talk to BC about game before your eviction, he would always say, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. 20 minutes before your eviction is when BC called me and said, okay, I'm gonna vote out Stefan. Then he went and talked to Chris really quick before your eviction and said, vote Stefan. But then BC flipped his vote and voted for Nick instead of you, to where basically I would get all the heat for your eviction. Do you get what I'm saying?
Ish.
Yeah, clarification.
Like the slight event that I say, or whatever, I felt like it could have been better.
I agree too. I agree I could have handled it better, but at the time it was you, Nick, and Van, okay? I already had a shaky relationship with Van because I already tried to vote out Van the first time that Van was on the block. Then there was Nick. I was not evicting Nick at all, to where it left you, the biggest target, and I was by voting out you and getting rid of you, I felt that was going to help rebuild my relationship with Van in the case that Van was going to win again.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave it at this.
And well, hold on, one more thing. I'm sorry. But I told you straight after the veto, you're not getting my vote. I told you that. And I even told you that on your eviction. Chug it, sis. I said, sis, take another chug. But in all honesty, Stefan, I really do love you, and you just were such a threat in this game, and I had to take advantage of the opportunity when it was presented to me.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to leave you guys with this. I'm realizing I still have garbage bag in my hair, so please. Love you both. Happy with the whatever outcome. I Eddie, my only advice for you, please keep your answers much shorter because it sounds like you're listing a fucking monologue from Hamilton.
I'm sorry. I'm a nervous talker. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it. Anthony, doing great. So keep impressing me.
Stefan,
or you too, Eddie.
Stefan,
And thanks for the Facebook post, by the way. I love harassment.
Stefan, save some of that wine for the reunion call.
Never.
Bye, Stefan.
Okay. So we left off with best jury game. We think this person started out slow, but worked their way into the game, slowly becoming a social threat, winning competitions, and making it to the Final 5 glory spot, where we thought if they hadn't left the game that round, they probably would have taken the game by storm. The best jury game award goes to Van.
Yes, Van.
Yes, Van. Van did that.
100%.
I'm gonna jump down a little bit. BB Hell, sweetheart. This is the person who is like super sweet and everyone just fucking adores them. And they're beautiful. They're a beautiful person. And that's Robin.
Yes,
Robin.
rightfully deserved. I was waiting for the name to come out of your mouth.
Right? We knew. I love Robin.
I love Robin so much. Van!
Hey, best jury game.
I'm glad.
Angie.
I am glad we're on the topic of blank did that, because that's kind of what my jury question is going to relate to.
Okay.
But before we get to that, I just want to say congrats to you two. You guys kicked ass. Anthony, when I saw your Meet Me, I thought for sure, I'm like, oh, this, when you came and said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm like, oh, this kid's going to be pre-jury. He's out of like, yeah. So good job on proving me wrong. And Eddie, I figured if you didn't make it far, you would have won. So who knows? Either you proved me right. I thought you were going to either make it like 6+ or win. So we got 2 coin. I don't know. I'm rambling. Whatever. Anyway, so to the important stuff. So both of you have been kind of tooting your own horns, saying like what you've done well. And yes, Anthony did that. Yes, Eddie did that. But there's always on the other side of a coin, there's I did that. So I want you both to answer what was your worst move in this game and how you were able to recover from that.
Do you want me to go
first? Yeah.
Either one.
I'll go first. I guess that my worst move would be, I guess, putting Stefan up at Final 7 because my target was you. I mean, I would say that my worst move was putting Stefan up as my replacement nominee, even though Stefan was my secondary target if you weren't leaving. I guess it might have been a better option to put like Chris up, because if Chris was up there with you and Nick, you might have gotten evicted when you were my original target. Yeah, I guess that would be my worst move.
Okay.
I would say my worst move was going against you in the Robin versus Van vote, okay? Because not only did that expose my cards without me having to, like I didn't have to expose my cards that round, but I kind of did when I chose to vote for you over Robin. As much as I wanted to vote for Robin because I knew that Robin was a number for me, I was iffy on where me and you stood, because even though at the beginning I was like, Van is my Chicago sister, like I want to work with Van moving forward, it's just whenever I seemed to talk game with you, you never really gave me anything, which I kind of said to Stefan as well, to where I didn't feel that great with you. And then obviously when you stayed, I tried to recover from that and rebuild that. And I tried to show my loyalty to you by voting out Stefan over you, because I knew that you were going to be a better asset than BC or Chris going into Final 6. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to rebuild that with you so that I felt like we had more trust moving forward. And to where I could kind of like repay you for kind of betraying you earlier in the first vote.
All right. Damn, you guys are making this hard. Both all the answers. Come on, one of you needs to fuck up. So I can go. Anyway, I love you guys. Best of luck to you. Both of however this goes, however I decide to end up voting, both of you are really, really worthy winners, and you should be proud of how you played.
I love you, Van.
Thank you, Van. I love you so
All right. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Van did that.
Van did that. I just love how Van was like, there's blank did that, and then there's they did that.
I know.
And then it just reminded me of Van's Meet Me video.
I know.
So the next one is most confused.
I can't wait to hear this one.
This is like the worst one to get. This one could like go hand in hand with like most delusional, most inactive, biggest piece of shit in the cast. Chris. So he was completely delusional the whole game. He literally thought he was like running the show, and it was like really stupid. And his reads were like completely wrong about the house dynamics and about players. His confessionals were insufferable to watch because of how ignorant he was about the game. And it was truly a travesty.
Sis, don't drag him too much.
Oops.
That's all he said. Seven, you didn't say who got it.
It was Chris.
Oh, did you say
He said Chris.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Or X. Sorry, X.
Stop.
Oops. Hot Mess Express.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
This person was so entertaining and so underrated, I feel like, in this game. But they were a mess. Their gameplay was pretty messy, like randomly starting fights and egging people on. She had an awesome downfall, but it is Miss Katie.
Katie!
I love her so much, and she's so entertaining. And she actually has really fantastic confessionals. So I highly recommend people watch them postseason. But more of her gameplay was kind of mess. But I love her. We loved the messiness.
We love Katie.
Yes, Katie.
And
Hi,
our last
BC.
member.
Hi. Okay. First, I want to say congratulations to both of you on making it to the final two, because that's a huge accomplishment in Big Brother. And I feel like both of you guys should be very proud of how you played, because this is probably like one of the strongest final twos, I personally think, of Big Brother Hell history. So yeah, I have a couple questions on my phone that I wrote down. I'm just going to try and keep this as short as possible. So Eddie, I feel like in the beginning of the game, I was targeting you and you were targeting me. It was like a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But what I want to know is, from Final 7 on to when you evicted me, ultimately at Final 4, was a relationship real or fake? And how do you think it helped you in the game in any way?
No, BC, it was completely real. Like I told you on your way out, everything I told you in every single call about your game, about my game, about how we rebuilt our relationship was 100% real. Like, not even just you, but coming into this game, I did not want to build fake relationships for game purposes. I wanted to make sure every single one of my connections were genuine, to where at the end of the day, if I screwed you over in this game, I could still walk with you after this and we could still be friends moving forward. Like, that's really, I even said that in my confessionals. As much as I like trash people in my confessionals, I said like, it's all game. It's all game. And I was serious from Final 7 about working with you and about having like an undying loyalty to you. And if it were me, you, and Anthony in the Final 3, I was still planning to stay true to our Final 2 over me and Anthony's. It just kind of sucked because you were so heavily associated with Chris that I did not feel comfortable going 2-on-1 in the final HOH. Whereas I mean, obviously Anthony proved me wrong by saying he was going to take Chris over me, but I felt I had a better chance of Anthony taking me than you did.
Okay, thank you. And for Anthony, I want to know, how do you think that you rebounded? I don't know if that's a word, but how do you think that you rebounded from Stefan's eviction? Because I feel like you know, I don't know if you knew that Stefan was going home that round, but I would just want to know, like, how do you think you got from that vote to the end? What you're saying now?
Honestly, I think that I got there by, well, obviously right after Stefan was evicted, Chris won HOH and put me up. I won by winning the veto, and then after that, winning the HOH. And in doing so, I took out the two people that I felt like were going to stand most between me and making it to the end of the game by first taking out Nick and then taking out Van right after. And I feel like those two people were coming after me more than you, Chris, and Eddie were. And I knew that in Final Four, no matter what, I was not getting evicted because Eddie was saving me over you. You were saving me over Eddie. The only way, well, I think you were saving me over Eddie. I don't know if that's true, but that was my perception. So no matter what, I was making it to Final Three. And so I think that the way that I rebounded was by taking out the two people that stood most between me and making it to the end of the game. And also by rebuilding my relationship with Eddie for sure, because Eddie absolutely hated me. And like he was really, really mad at me when I put him on the block, obviously. And so I think that by rebuilding my relationship with him, it kind of brought us back together. And I think that other people saw that, and it also made me less of a threat than Eddie. So I think that I just put myself in a better position. And honestly, Stefan going like wasn't something that I felt like I had to rebound from, because I said it before, like if Van wasn't leaving at Final 7, I wanted Stefan out. So it wasn't like a huge game-changing bad thing that happened to my game. So I feel like my bigger rebound was after Matthew was evicted more so than Stefan, but that wasn't the question. But yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for these answers. You've given me a lot to think about. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thanks so much, Christy. I love you so much.
Can we talk to you after?
I know. Okay, bye.
Bye.
So Nick was unable to attend, and obviously Chris quit jury, so that was the end of the jury. So now we're going into our closing speech. As you guys are saying your speech, jury voting is open. So if you know who you're voting for, submit it to your production chat.
Okay, so I'll go first. I won't ramble off your ear like I did during the opening statements, but basically I just want to say that a lot of my social game has been discredited, and although I haven't really explained it as well as I would have liked to, like Stefan's eviction, BC and Chris could have easily gone against me and voted out Nick. Same with Anthony. Anthony said he was telling them to keep Nick safe. That's an ode to my social game because I had that relationship with Anthony. And I built the relationship with BC. Sis, I saw that side eye. But I had the relationship with BC and with Chris. But like that's just like one thing in particular. Like I was able to save me and Nick when me and Nick were like the most known duo in the house since The Husbands. And I just think yes, I may have had to rely on some competition wins, but I did not need to rely on every single one of the competitions that I won. My first HOH and my first veto, I didn't need to rely on that. I probably would have gone on the block that week, but like I still had bigger targets in front of me. Like my positioning in this game going through from the beginning to the end, I was able to avoid being evicted because of how I positioned myself socially. The only veto I really had to win to save myself was when Stefan went home. And obviously I didn't win the next veto, and I was target number 1. Like I was target number 1, I was going home, but Nick went before I did. Final Four veto, I didn't want to win because in my head, in that moment, I didn't think I had to win because if Anthony was winning, I thought Anthony was taking me. And if BC was winning, I thought BC was taking me. Where even though BC said he wanted me out single-handedly because he realized how great of a player I was. Where, oh my gosh, I'm kind of blinking right now. But basically, I'm just saying, I'm a well-rounded player. I played my ass off. I won these competitions. I did my fucking homework. I studied. I won several types of challenges: endurance, puzzle, mental. And yeah, I may have had to rely on some comp wins, but I needed to win some of those comps to ensure that the moves that I wanted to make happened. And may the best man win. Anthony, I love you. I'm seriously happy with whatever winner comes out of this. And Jerry, vote for me.
All right, am I good? I'm good. Okay. So again, thank you guys for all the questions. Thank you for an amazing game again. I definitely want to apologize if anyone walked into the jury house with any sort of animosity or anything. It was all 100% game. And like I said before, I literally love every single one of you on a personal level. I didn't get here because and this isn't a diss on Eddie. This isn't I didn't get here because I won competitions. I did win competitions. I won competitions that I needed to win to position myself better. The only competition that I needed to win where I would have gone home if I didn't win was the Final 5 HOH. And that's because if Eddie or I didn't win HOH at Final 5 because Eddie fucking sucked at it, so he wasn't going to win, we would have been up on the block together. Eddie would have won the veto, and I would have gotten evicted. So that is the only time this entire game that I needed to win a competition. I used every single opportunity in this game as I was thinking 3 steps ahead. I was thinking, what can I do now to position myself better for the next week and the next week and the next week? And every single time I was in any sort of power, that's exactly what I was doing. I won only when I needed to, when I wanted to make a move. I was amazing socially. I have friends with every single one of you, and I have no ill will towards anybody. I was great strategically. I made every single move that I needed to make. And I'm sitting here because of my social and strategic game. And I think that that outweighs everything else that happened in this game. That made no sense. So I hope that you guys are voting for the person, not that you like more, not that you talk to more, not that you felt a closer connection with. I hope that you're voting for the person that you truly believe played the best game in your eyes. And if that's me, amazing. Hopefully vote for me. If that's Eddie, vote for Eddie. Either one of us is an absolutely amazing, deserving winner in my eyes. And Eddie, I am so happy that I got to meet you in this game, that I got to be your friend. And even though I would have cut you and you said you wouldn't talk to me, I'm so thankful for this opportunity. So yeah, like Eddie said, may the best man win, and good luck.
All right, send in those jury votes, guys. The season is almost over.
Stop, this is crazy. Oh my god. I'm so scared.
Me too.
Oh my
I'm so
God.
nervous. I feel like I bombed that.
I think I did okay. I think you did good.
Debatable. You did good.
Well, thanks. So are you revealing votes right away?
Give me a hot second.
No, I
Anthony,
mean right now. I mean right when you get all of them.
I don't know.
is there any more awards that you're revealing right now or no?
Oh yeah.
You guys are stressing me out. Just kidding. Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Let's do hashtag blindside. This is the biggest blindside we had this season. And that was Estefana's. Because that was super unexpected. We thought she was going to be someone who would make it deep into the game, so did not see that happen. Jenny, if you want to do them.
Which one are we on?
You can just do whichever one you want.
Okay, let's see. I don't think we did the best interview.
No.
Oh, you did?
No, we didn't.
No, we
Okay, good. This interview had all of production crying, laughing after it ended. It was definitely just the most entertaining interview I think we've ever had. And this is why this person was casted. We have to give this award to Adam.
Yes, Adam.
He was so iconic preseason. You guys don't even know.
He was iconic on the season too.
He was he was iconic on the season, sister, not just preseason.
I wonder if he found his keeper yet.
All right.
We need to have beefaroni tonight for Adam.
I do have the votes.
Oh my god.
Stop. Oh my god.
So while votes are locked, I'm just gonna say again, this has been such a fucking fantastic season. I'm absolutely so honored to have you guys be a part of this cast, and I'm so happy one of you two are going to represent this season. Congrats on making it to the end in your first games. You both literally killed it. Both of you have played some of the best games I've actually ever seen in this series, and this is your first game over like orgers who have played this as a hobby. And you guys just had so much passion in this game, and I want you guys to know, whoever doesn't win the season, you still represent the season so well, and both of you guys really impacted the season a lot. I'm so excited about to reveal these votes.
Good luck, Anthony.
Good luck,
Congratulations.
Eddie. I love you so much.
All right, so I'm going to go from first juror to last juror. So, Matthew has voted for Anthony to win.
Thank you, Matthew.
Robin has voted for Eddie to win.
Thanks, Robin. I love you.
Simon has voted for Eddie to win.
Thanks,
So we're
Simon.
tied 2-1. There are 5 votes left. Daniel voted for Eddie to win. So
Thanks,
we're
Daniel.
3-1. Stefan voted for Anthony to win.
Thank you, Stefan. Oh my god.
I'm gonna jump around for suspense.
Oh my god.
BC voted for Anthony to win.
Oh my god.
So we're tied 3-3.
Oh my god, thank you, BC.
Nick has voted for Eddie to win.
Thanks,
We're
so much,
tied
sister.
4-3. If Van voted for Anthony, it is a tie, and the pre-jury already voted, so their vote will count as 1, and they already voted. But if Van votes for Eddie, Eddie is the winner. Van has voted for the winner of Big Brother Hell 10 Hades. Congratulations, Eddie.
Congrats, Eddie.
You have won.
Congrats, Eddie.
Thank you guys so much. This is I literally would lose sleep over this thing, like over this fucking game. I would dream about this game. I could never get an escape from this fucking game. And I put my all into it, and just being rewarded with something so legendary and being a part of something so much bigger than just a game is like such a big deal to me. And the fact that I have no experience at all, I'm not from any communities like some of the rest of the cast is, like, this was literally the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I put my all into it. And thank you so much to the people who voted for me.
Congrats, Eddie. Well deserved. 100%.
Oh my god, I can't believe I just fucking won.
Wait, can we know who the pre-jury was for? I want to know.
It was for Anthony, sister.
No, Lewis decided. I think.
It was actually 2-1 for Anthony.
I told
So
you.
Anthony would have gotten pre-jury. All right, guys, this was such an awesome season. I'm excited to talk about this shit. I'm excited to start talking about it. We'll see you guys soon.
Oh my god.